Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ChazMosh Show. I am ChazMosh of the legendary tag team, the Headbangers, and this is where we talk wrestling, life, and everything in between. So let's go. It's been a while since I've been here. A couple weeks off. Yes, I know. Sorry about that. I tried doing it while I was away. Just was difficult to. It was just difficult to do it. I was away for exactly 2 weeks. So I went out on the road on August, I'm going to say April. Damn, I'm way off. August 8th, left the house. I drove up to my camp that I have out in the middle of nowhere. Went up there for a day, went riding around. And then from there, on Sunday, August 9th, I drove up to Orlando. Had a little bit of an issue with my truck getting there, only because out at my camp, it was so muddy and so wet, and I didn't realize this. So now it's a mental note moving forward. Sorry, it's like my first day here. I got to adjust my seat. Mental note and moving forward with it now is I need to, when I go through deep mud, which I did, that I need to take the hose and rinse out my rims, because the sugar sand out at my camp, when it gets wet, it's like quicksand. And I went through a huge puddle. I wasn't even four-wheeling. Like, I wasn't playing in my truck, was just getting to my camp. But it was so bad, like the mud splashed over my entire truck was a mess, which is great. I love when my truck is dirty from being out in the woods. Normal just dirt doesn't look cool on a truck, but if you get like mud on it because you're out in the woods, that's a different type of dirty. That's a fun type of dirty. But anyway, yeah. So when I was leaving camp on Sunday, the front end, when I hit like 45 miles an hour, just started shaking. And I was like, oh shit, what did I break? And it turns out nothing was broken. What happened was so much sugar sand and dirt got caught in the rim of my wheel and the calipers and the brakes that the vibration was so bad. Which should have taken me an hour and a half drive, maybe about an hour and a half to get to Orlando. Ended up taking almost 3 hours, only because I had to stop to get the truck washed. And then that helped out a little bit. And then I had to stop again at one of those self-clean car washes where I had to take basically power wash the outside of the rims, the inside, turn the wheel back and forth so I can get inside, outside, all around it. But in between those things, I could only do like 40 miles an hour. So it was very slow going. But then, it helped a little bit. I got it off, drove a little bit better, drove a little bit more. Then the second cleaning, I stopped and got that off a little bit more. And then finally it started raining. And because of the rain, obviously, water got in there, washed off. I hit a couple puddles, and boom, next thing you know, I was doing 85 miles an hour again. But anyway, it was an adventure just to get to Orlando. But I was in Orlando for the week because I was with WWE at the Performance Center doing some guest coaching again, which I absolutely positively love. It's one of my favorite things to do now. I think actually producing matches and coaching and helping and guiding and suggesting and whatever else is I do there, I actually enjoy more now than I do actually wrestling. Don't get me wrong, I love getting in the ring. I still love doing that. Just, I don't know, there's something about helping and guiding and then watching them being able to go out and pull it off. I'm very fortunate to where on Tuesday night, so on NXT nights when they do TV live, there's dark matches and then there's obviously the live matches. For the most part, I sit in with a couple of the other coaches, and I'm not a name dropper, so I'm not going to sit here and drop a bunch of names. I'll drop some names later on, but I'll do some, I guess, co-producing. I'll help, with some ideas with the matches, and then when they're producing the match, when it's live on, I sit on headset and more or less listen to try and learn. to get better and better. But this particular week, last week, a couple weeks ago, I got to do a dark match and produce a dark match, not actually wrestle a dark match. I produced a dark match, but it was the first time I was the solo only producer, and I got to be the only one on headset and call the match. And it was amazing. It went great. I thought the match went really well. Again, I'm not going to tell you the match, just because I'm not going to sit here and name drop. But yeah, so it was that was great. And then to make it even better, they did a couple nights. There was Evolve TV tapings, and I got to work a little bit with AJ Styles with one of them. There's a name drop. Got to work with him on one of them. Again, I'm not going to tell you the matches because of the time frame of how Evolve gets put on TV. But yeah, so I got to work with AJ a little bit, which was amazing. I worked with AJ actually a lot during the week. Would jump in with his class and help out. And we all know AJ is just amazing. But to be able to work side by side with him was even cooler. And then I got to produce 2 Evolve matches on my own, which was great. Love that aspect of it. Both matches went really well. I hate to say exceeded my expectations, but I go into most situations with either no or low expectations, so I'm never disappointed, I guess. But no, it went really well. So I was at the PC all week. Like I said, I got to work with AJ Styles. There's a lot of main roster people coming in and out. It's always cool to catch up with them. And one of my favorite parts is the NXT talent that has moved up to the main roster. A lot of them still come back down on the PC and work out, which I think is amazing because, it helps feed the kids that are in NXT right now that are trying to get there. It helps feed them. It helps fuel their fire to get there. And then for them to hear about it. And then for me personally, some of them, again, I'm a guest coach. I'm not there all the time, and I'm not trying to take any claim whatsoever to helping people get to the next level. But the talent that I've worked with, when I see them come out on TV, I get super excited about it. I pop for it at home. And then when I get to see them, I get to talk about it and, text a message with them. So being able to have that whole thing, like, to me, the week was great. But the 2 weeks were crazy for me because, again, I left Saturday morning on the 8th. And then I got home on Saturday, the 15th of August. I got home about 11 o'clock at night, just in time to throw some clothes in the laundry, actually just throw them in the washer, put some stuff away, jump in the shower, go to bed, and then get up in the morning, throw those clothes in the dryer. Once they were dried, throw them in another suitcase, because then I left the house at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning to fly to New York, up to Long Island, to do Creative Pro Wrestling, Brian Myers' company, to go up there and do a show for him, which was great. Worked a couple of students. We did like an 8-man thing, went really well. Good time. Great thing Brian Myers has working there. I told him this that night, that the culture, that he's built. I talk a lot about the culture at the PC. And what Matt and Sean have built there, and what all the coaches do. But Brian's done a hell of a job with his own school, with Creative Pro Wrestling, to see the people that come back. MJF was there, hanging out in the locker room, talking to the younger talent, and giving advice and watching matches, and just helping out. So to me, that's huge. It speaks volumes of what Brian's doing and what he's done with the school. Because, if people go back, like, I know Glenn and I used to go back to the Monster Factory all the time. And, when we were able to, but, that's the culture, though. A lot of people went back to the Monster Factory. I'm not involved with a lot of schools, so I don't know how many people actually go back or how many people don't go back to their school. But just to see the environment that Brian had set up and everyone helping, to me, it just means a lot to what he's built. So there's a little bit of kudos I'm giving Brian some flowers here, but it's not that I didn't say it to his face. I told him a couple times that night. And the cool part was, we got to hang out with Andre Chase, got to see him. I got to see Carino again. And then, sat at the bar and had a drink with Andre and, and Bear. So, just that's the cool part now of doing these shows and being able to go back and do things. So we did that on Sunday night. And then Monday morning, we did K&S WrestleFest, and, which is always a good time. We love going on there with Ken and Bucky and Fuji Joe, who says he doesn't look like Mr. Fuji, but he 100% just looks like a fat, sloppy Mr. Fuji. We did that. And then from there, later that week, we had a show for Tommy Fierro's ISPW on that Thursday down in Wildwood, New Jersey at the Wildwoods Convention Center. So what I did was rented a car, drove to South Jersey to hang out with family and a couple of friends. And the cool part was I got to get a Phillies game in, and they won, which was amazing. That was actually their 6th straight win, which was at that point was the longest win streak they had for the year. They extended it out to 9, but then I know they've lost the last 2 nights in Seattle. But I think it's bullshit that whoever scheduled that did bullshit job at scheduling it. How do you have someone play a game on the East Coast, fly them to the West Coast without a travel day, and then make them play the next day? So I'm blaming it on scheduling that they lost the next 2 games, but hopefully now they win. They're actually playing right now. But yeah, so that was that. So the ISPW show was a blast. Tommy Dreamer, again, does an amazing job, amazing house, again, at the Wildwoods Convention Center, especially since he just ran it the month before. The cool part for me with the ISPW show was that we got to work with Marcus Mathers and Aaron Rourke, who are both WWE ID guys. And being able to work with them and trust them and do cool things with them it was a really, really fun match. And again, being able to, work with them and help them along, the few days before that up at the PC, because they were both there. It was pretty cool. And then to get in the ring with them, it's just a different, I don't even know the words to say it. It's a different feeling. It's just different being able to get in there with guys that you're actually working with and training and helping out with, and guiding, it's just kind of cool. So I was up there on Thursday. So basically Monday to Friday, and then got up Saturday morning and flew home. So literally from August 8th until August 22nd, I was home for a total of 10 hours. And then I got home and, got everything settled, because when I came home, my house was a mess from me just kind of throwing stuff out of the suitcase, throwing other stuff in the suitcase. And I hate a messy house. I hate clutter. I hate shit all over. So I knew, as tired as I was coming home, I was going to have to spend some time like cleaning and straightening and things like that. But, is what it is. It was a fun 2 weeks. Literally the last, I think, 3 months we've been away so much. And the month of September picks right back up. Actually, August ends this week with us we're going to Michigan for JCW, for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, on the 29th and 30th. So this Saturday and Sunday, and then fly back Monday morning. So do that. And then the 5th, we're in Winnipeg. And then the 12th, as of now, I have nothing. May do a kickball tournament. And then the 2 weekends after that, we're booked as well. So it's just, listen, I'm not complaining. It's all good stuff. I am very, see right behind me, fortunate, and I know that, and I appreciate it. So that's enough about the last 2 weeks. Let's see, is there anything going on here in the Chizat room? Brandon, what up? Good to see you. Thanks for chiming in. No, Thrasher is not a coach, does not coach at the Performance Center. Cool. Yeah, you want to send that over? I'd love to see the match from Freelance Wrestling we did in Chicago. That was a good match and a good time. Hell yeah, Nick. Go Phils. All right, cool beans. We'll shift back over here. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about how when I was at SummerSlam, I was at the NXT tryouts, that Cam Hendricks called me out for not mentioning him on the podcast. So I've made a point that next week to call him out and about how he just was a blur. And then in that last 2 weeks, I haven't been on. But what I'd like to start doing is every week I'm going to have a moment of the week. And it's going to be the Cam Hendricks moment of the week. And if you don't know who Cam is, go watch NXT. You need to know who Cam is because he's literally one of the up and coming stars that you're going to be watching on the main roster for a long time. So Cam, this segment every week will be in your honor. It's going to be the Cam Hendricks moment of the week. And this week's moment of the week happens to be when Mason Rook came out and caused you to lose your match. Listen, highly unacceptable behavior on your part. How you let him come out and do that to you. I know he's big, he's bad, and he'll body slam your dad. He's big, he's bad. Maybe you need a song, Cam. Maybe that's what you need. You need a little rhyme like that. But no, you were having a great match you had with Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver's character lately has been great because, he used to always just be angry. I mean, he still is always angry, but it used to always just be angry. And let me just do power moves and try to beat the shit out of somebody. But now he's more like he started a match with a small package. He's getting more finesse stuff. And he had some great matches with EK Prosper. And he had a great match with Cam, hard hitting, great story. And then boom, here comes your boy. He's big, he's bad. He body slammed your dad, Mason Rook, and hits you with the splash on the floor, rolls you in, and then boom, you lose. So that is the moment of the week, is Cam Hendricks losing because Mason Rook came out, caused him to lose. The feud between you two guys is going to get interesting. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm curious and excited to see where it goes. Who knows? Maybe it ends up in a weaponized cage match. You never know. Weaponized cage match. Segue right into Deion Lennox and Saquon Sugar's match last night on NXT. I thought that was great. Some different spots in there, some different moves you haven't seen before. And I don't know why anyone wants to take a slam of any sort with a chair with the legs standing up. But Saquon, you did it. Great job. Like I said, fun match, some different things you never seen before. I love all the gimmicks inside the cage. And Saquon with that gorgeous splash off the top of the cage onto Deion to get the pin, to get the 1, 2, 3. Great match. We'll see what happens next with Dark State, with Deion, with Saquon. Either way, it's all fun, exciting stuff. NXT had kind of got pillaged when everyone moved up, to the main roster. But it doesn't miss a beat, and you guys aren't missing a beat now. And it's just getting riled back up. And I can't wait for Sunday to watch the PLE and watch Heat Wave and see what happens there. A lot of great matches are going to be going on. Speaking of Monday Night Raw and people getting moved up into the roster, I'm watching Monday Night Raw, and at the end, I'm watching the tag match with the Usos versus Solo. Pew, 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 pew. I think the pew, pew is hysterical. I may have to actually get one of the shirts with him and LA Knight. And then out of nowhere, here comes Royce Keys and my boys, OTM, Bronco and Lucian. Yeah, I call them my boys because, again, I don't take any credit for anyone doing what they do or moving up, but I will take a little bit of credit here with helping them out. I worked with them with moves, live shows at the PC, helping with double team moves and psychology and a tag match. And every time, they need a question, I need help, they come to me. And I just, when they get out there, I was sitting on the couch and I literally popped. I got up and got all excited. And it was great to see them come out. And then I saw some stuff online where people complaining saying they don't know who they are and no one watches NXT. Why would you bring people out like that? Well, my question is to you, how else are you supposed to bring them out? And like when we popped out on WWE TV back in the day, no one knew who we were. So that's what you do. You get popped out. You know who Royce Keys is. So teaming up with Royce Keys, I think, is going to be a cool thing. But people complaining they don't know who they are. Well, here's the answer to that. Watch NXT. Watch Evolve. And if you're not watching NXT and you're not watching Evolve, why not? That's dumb if you're not, because that is literally the future of wrestling. With WWE is going through Evolve and NXT. I mean, they're the future. Everyone coming up now is coming onto the main roster. That's pretty much where they're coming from. So why would you not want to watch them, to literally watch their careers evolve? Yeah, pun intended. Watch it evolve and watch them grow. See where they start, and then watch them grow and grow and grow and grow. And then boom, they're up on the main roster, and watch them grow from there. It's like Fatal Influence. I got to see them, grow and grow and get better and better. And then bam, they're on the main roster. And congratulations, speaking of Fatal Influence, to JC Jane for winning the Women's United States Championship. And obviously, Laney and Fallon are killing it as the women's tag team champions. But my point to that is, why would you not want to watch them to see where they're going and watch their progression? And then even if for some odd reason, you're watching NXT and they don't make it on the main roster, but they end up, in TNA or NWA or even AEW, you still got to watch them, and you still got to watch them go. And then, if they end up out on the indies, now you get to go when you get to the indies and you get to see them. And, like I saw Serena Linton on a show, a month ago. So like, why would you not watch them? I don't know. Just, what, if you don't know who they are, don't complain about it online. Don't go on social media and blast them because you don't know who they are, when you could tune in every Tuesday or every Wednesday on Tubi and you can see who they are. All right. So don't bitch and complain. But anyway, back to my original point. OTM, boys, I'm excited to see this, and make sure I see that double flapjack. If I don't see the double flapjack, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for both of you. Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great to watch. And then my next thing on my list here. Hold on. Before I get to that, let's see if there's any other comments over here on the gram. Hey, there's Marcus. Marcus, if you're still there, hey, where's Thrasher? He's probably at home or working. I'm not sure where he is. Heel Chrome, sir, doing great. Dude, we have so much shit we got to talk about. I see you're having Zach going on next week. If you guys aren't paying attention to Heel Chrome, go follow him. Go follow their podcast, the Lazy Podcast, Lazy something. I screwed that up. I know, and I'm sorry. Go watch it. Yeah, I know everyone's a keyboard warrior. That's the downside, but that's all I got to say about that. It's just stupid. Don't bitch and complain if you're not going to go and do a little bit. If you're sitting here if you're a keyboard warrior, you should be keyboarding on here to look people up to see who they are, or at least watch the product. Yeah. So, all right. So this brings me to, unfortunately, my least favorite word when it comes to wrestling. And I hate that people use this word because it's just not, I don't know. I've bitched about it before. I'll bitch about it again. BOTCH. The word BOTCH. So I'm just going to preface this by saying, if you're watching the Super Bowl and all of a sudden the sound cuts out for a second, is that, let's say it's Troy Aikman and fuck's the other guy's name? Joe, whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching Marv Albert and all of a sudden his lips are moving and the sound's going, is that Marv Albert's fault? Did Marv Albert just botch the Super Bowl because you can't hear him? No, shit happens. Maybe a plug came undone. Somebody stepped on something. Someone hit a button and turned a microwave off, or the microphone off. Things happen. But I saw online too that people were going out saying, "Oh, did you notice the botch on Monday Night Raw when Oba was speaking and he botched his promo because the microphone cut off? You couldn't hear him." First of all, how's that a botch? It's not a botch. It's called shit happens. And how's it Oba's fault? That's the part I don't understand, is how did Oba botch his promo, which the segment between him and Braun was amazing. It was such a good segment. The back and forth was great. Yes, there's a couple little things here and there that probably could have made it a little bit better. But overall, the two of them with where they are in their careers and, having Paul out there, it was a great segment. And then for someone to come on there and say something negative about Oba because the microphone cut out for a couple of seconds is just dumb. Let's do away with the word botch when it comes to this kind of stuff. Even so much, I was listening to on Tuesday morning, I was listening to After Dark on WWE radio and Busted Open After Dark, and Tommy Dreamer mentioned it, like saying it's not a botch. Like, shit happens. You're watching the World Series, it could cut out. You're watching the Super Bowl, volume and cut out. You got the referees in the NFL football game trying to call a penalty, and it doesn't work. Did they botch calling the penalty? I mean, they have botched calling penalties, but it's not their fault that it didn't work. So let's just can we just do away with that stupid word botch when it comes to wrestling altogether? I'm begging you. All right, that's my rant. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, Reggie, your comment is a botch. All right, cool beans. So last thing I want to bring up, as you see behind me, and I've talked about before, and I got this cool shirt on right here. My Live Fortunate Rhino shirt with a bunch of different great positive words on it that all kind of make me feel fortunate, with gratitude and purpose and things like that. Just want to throw it out there, Live Fortunate isn't about being lucky, rich, or pretending that life is perfect. It's about recognizing what you do have, making the most of it, and finding what fuels you. That's how I feel about this. So people wanted to ask me about what it is, so I'm throwing it out there now. The whole idea behind this Live Fortunate thing that I'm doing, it's simple. Fortunate looks different on everybody. What makes me feel fortunate can be different than what makes you feel fortunate. For one person, it might be family. For somebody else, it's their career. It could be their health. It could be their freedom, or just waking up excited every day to do whatever the hell it is they're going to do. It's different for everyone, and it's all a mindset. It's all up here. I saw this thing the other day that said, actually, this was kind of funny. It said, hey, if you take the word problem and replace it with opportunity, imagine how great things would be. Instead of that negative mindset of, oh, I have a problem, how about you look at it as, I have an opportunity? It's like, say to someone, I have a problem drinking. Now you say, no, I have an opportunity to drink. I'm just saying, I'm trying to make a little humor here with it. But that's kind of, it's a mindset. And I'm trying to build it that way and into maybe a lifestyle brand. I don't know if this whole thing is going to go anywhere, but you know what? I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And so if you go to livefortunate.com, go to livefortunate.com and see what we're building. I got this cool shirt. This logo here will be up soon. Lots of other logos up there. And it's not all just say Live Fortunate. There's different things on there. Like you get what you give. I did this one where I was out at my camp and I got stuck and I sunk my side-by-side. And the crew that I ride with now, they happened to be, I didn't know anybody. I was out in the middle of nowhere by myself. They drove by. They helped pull me out. And I actually took the picture and made it into a shirt that says, I'm good at pulling out. There's another one where, you know, it's just a matter of relief. There's a guy out in the middle of the swamp. He's drinking a beer and peeing against a tree. So there's all kinds of cool different things on there. Maybe something for everyone, maybe something for no one. I don't know. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Check out livefortunate.com. Find what fuels you. Live fortunate. And yeah, so I'm enjoying it. And that's about it. So that's all I had for this week. I know haven't been on for 2 weeks, and I still got to actually probably need to get caught up a little bit on some SmackDown stuff. But hey, thank you for tuning in. And if you are watching the replay, thank you for that. You know, make sure you check this out on YouTube or listen wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. And then head over to ChazMosh.com to grab your copy of Beneath the Skirt, this beauty right here, and some exclusive merch on there as well. You know, there's pictures in here too. You know, there's pictures in here. There's a few pictures. I dare myself to find one now, right? Now that I'm here. There we go. Look at it. We got some spider pictures. Yeah. I was trying to see if I can find something to read real quick, but anyway, no, not going to do it. You go to Amazon. If you go to Amazon, you type my name in, like all my activity books will pop up. And I'm going to start doing some whatnot stuff, some exclusive things that aren't always out there, some action figures, different pictures, things like that. And then, you know, as you know, follow me on social media at ChazMosh. And remember, do whatever makes your heart happy. Just don't suck at it. Peace out. I'll see everyone next time.